it's Dr. Karen Perkins, and I'm so excited to have you all here today. Today, we're going to talk about fear and what you can do to defeat it. And I just want you to keep an eye open, and Jason and I'll talk about it in a second, but keep an eye open. I have a whole webinar coming up on fear. Keep an eye out. We haven't solidified the date just yet, but it should be coming up in the next week or two. And go ahead and register for that. It's free and get you in there, and you'll get some extra bonuses for being there. That being said, let's bring Jace on and talk a little bit about this week's topic. Hey, Jace, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. Finally, I have a camera on.
Yay! We've missed your bright, smiling face. Missed it a
Thank you.
lot. Now, you and I have talked about today doing a thing on fear, and I
Yeah.
understand you've got a few fears that you get to face in the next little bit because of the move that you're making. Um,
Yes.
are they
So,
life-threatening fears?
well, um, not life-threatening, as we say, am I gonna die just because of, fearing this? But it's still something that I am, thinking about, very anxious about because I am transferring residences again. And with transferring, I know Karen just transferred residences also. But with me, it's just a very different place again. Though it's an old place for me that I used to live in, but just going back gives me the fear of what will happen next. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, and we talked about some of those fears, and there's the fear of losing your friends and starting over again.
yeah,
And when you move away from your friends, sometimes you lose some of them, but not always. The good friends are always there.
true.
There's the fear of things from the past coming up again and maybe happening again. And,
Yeah,
if there's negative things that you had to face, that's the fear, do I have to face the negative again? There is this fear of the unknown. There's the
yeah,
fear of change. Now we talked about change last week, and change is a hard thing, and it's a big fear.
yeah.
And the fear of change is the fear of the unknown, because we don't know what's going to happen, and that's why we struggle with change so much. And I told you to do something different every single day,
Yeah, I
tiny
did
for
it.
change. Have you been doing that?
Yes, I did that. And also one of the things that I did was I changed airlines this time. I used to ride a
Oh,
specific airline going back traveling to Manila, but now it's a different one, and it was a great experience. It was also a different airport this time, so yeah,
yeah, you did a lot of changes.
I did.
And have you found, and to put you on the spot, and the answer, whatever answer you give is correct, have you found that change is starting to be a little bit easier for you as you do more little changes?
I do, actually, and it's I think the most rewarding thing about it is that um the thing that you are very anxious about when you are still not doing it, it changes to something fulfilling after you've done it. Like you've filled something in your heart that you've been yearning for so much, but just because of, being hesitant about change, you're not doing anymore. But now it's a very fulfilling experience, and I'm so grateful that you helped me with that.
That forced you to change. Well, today we're going to talk about changing again, because we're talking about fear. And I said before, is it life threatening? Now, I'm not mocking life threatening fears, and I'm not mocking non life threatening fears. But today we're going to talk more about the non threatening fears, because, I mean, let's be honest, if your gut instinct tells you not to walk down that dark alley, that's a good thing. You don't want to walk down that dark alley because it's your gut telling you this is not safe. Fear stems from way back in the beginning, when it was fear that let them know they were in a bad situation. It could be the lions or tigers or bears. Oh my, could be any of those things that were coming at them. Could be an adversary, but it was fear that kept them going. Um, because it would protect them. So fear is meant as a protection. And fear is really something that's important to us for our survival. So the base of fear was meant for survival. But what's happened, and a lot of it's scientific and some of it's emotional, what's happened over the centuries and years and, whatever, what's happened is that fear has evolved into things that are really non-threatening but uncomfortable. And you might fear losing your job. Okay, that's, you might think it's life threatening, but it's really uncomfortable. um you'll have to do a lot of different things, and there'll definitely be some discomfort if you lose your job, but chances are better you won't lose your job if you're at least trying. There's the fear of, as Jay said, of losing your friends. You might, but you'll also get to grow and make some new friends. There's the fear of having to deal with the same old crap. I said crap. The same old crap you had to deal with your previous friends, with your family. And you love family, you do, you have to. But let's be honest, our families are the biggest crabs in our life. They're the biggest naysayers. They try and be supportive, but they know everything about us, and they, with all good intention in their heart, tell us all the things that could go wrong and try and put the fear of God into us so we don't do things that might go wrong. But in reality, they're over exaggerating the issue and the problem. And again, they do it with good intentions, but it's not helpful. It's not helpful at all. So, fear is complex. It involves the emotional and the psychological responses within our system. Your body actually responds to the various fears, and that's what causes the anxiety, the stress, the um, really the panic that comes from these different fears. And those are the three biggest things that you feel is panic, anxiety, and stress when you have a real fear or phobia. But let's look a little bit at the science, because I like to look at the science end of it. Your brain structure. We've got the amygdala that I've spoken about several times before. It's the size of a pinhead, it's almond shape, it's up here in your brain. And the amygdala, it it assigns the emotion, it processes the emotions, it takes your thoughts and assigns it its emotions and its physical behavior. And the physical behavior actually is supported by the hip we got to try that say that again hypothalamus. I don't know why I couldn't say that. Hypothalamus, spit that out. It's supported by that, and that's what gives us the activating the nervous system and all of those kinds of things. And then there's just a lot of things that are involved. The psychological part of this is you get into a fight or flight. And you're either going to fly away and run away from the situation, or you're going to stand there and fight. And fear was intended to let people know: hide, run away, do whatever you need to do, or grab your club and fight. And in our case, we may have to remove ourselves from a situation. Sometimes you just have to remove yourself from a situation. The fight might be that you stand up for yourself and you communicate. And it could come back to, let's say it's a boss that is never happy with the work that you do. And Jace is like, yeah, I know that one. No, I'm always happy with what Jace does. He's absolutely fabulous. But you might have that boss that's extra critical. So, you go to that boss and say, I want to do the very best I can. But when you tell me that everything is incorrect, when you highlight my every sentence with a red pen. It tells me you don't trust me or that I'm not doing it the way you want. Is that what you intend to tell me? And if they say yes, say, well, I want to do it correctly. What kind of help can I get to learn how to do this differently? And be open to learn how to do this differently. If it's a sibling or a parent or a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle or whatever that is always telling you that you're a failure and you're not successful, and and you fear having to deal with them because you know it's going to be a negative experience, then you need to confront them and just say, when you tell me there's no way I'm going to succeed, it tells me that you believe I don't have what it takes. Are you telling me that you really don't believe I have what it takes? Well, yeah. Great. I appreciate you have a right to your opinion. And what is your opinion? My opinion is that I will succeed. And if I stumble and fall on this one thing, that's okay because I'm learning from it. And that is success in itself. And I would appreciate it from this point forward if you would keep your opinion to yourself. There's a great quote on that. Let's see. I don't remember who quoted it or exactly how it went, but it's something to the effect of, your opinion of me is none of my business. Okay. Well, that's the truth. If somebody's sharing negative opinions, I mean, if it's something you can learn from, and maybe it's something that's real, Karen, you eat food that's bad for you all the time. I can evaluate quickly. Do I eat food bad for me all the time? Well, it looks like I do, but I don't. Okay. So now their opinion of me is incorrect. And I can say, in reality, I have a very healthy, balanced diet that my doctor has put me on for health reasons. And that's not the cause of my weight, is not my diet. And your opinion of me is really none of my business. And if you are offended by my weight, I can appreciate that, but I am not, and I'm going to continue on in my life and be happy. Now, those are two extreme situations, and honestly, you may be afraid to say the kind of things that I just said. And there are times I am. There are times I am absolutely afraid of doing it. But it's important that you do this. It's important that you do this. Fear is often described as our enemy because it hinders our well being and our ability to function effectively, especially when it becomes excessive or irrational. And some fear does become excessive and irrational. Um, some of the breakdowns of that is paralysis or inaction. We have a fear, we get paralyzed. I have a fear of doing this project right, so I get paralyzed and I just don't do it. Or, inaction, I just don't do it. Well, guess what? If I don't do it, that fear has already come to fruition because I didn't do it right if I didn't do it at all. So that is an irrational fear. Do it and do your very best. Get some help. Find somebody, and we'll talk about this later. Find social support. Find somebody who will let you run your work past them to make sure that it's up to snuff. And somebody that you know and love and appreciate, and somebody who can give you um, feedback that is constructive, not destructive. Um, Fear comes as chronic stress and chronic anxiety. Fear is hard on your physical system, it's hard on your heart. It's hard on, well, it's definitely hard on the amygdala, because what it does now is the more you allow yourself to live in fear, the more sensitive the amygdala becomes. And the more sensitive the amygdala becomes, the more we overreact to things, and not just fear, we overreact to everything. And so, you've got to understand that these unreasonable fears or these irrational fears or these fears of the unknown, These are things that are causing us physical and emotional damage. Um, Cognitive distortions, that goes back to, the amygdala, and we overreact. Well, the cognitive distortions, we make the fear bigger and bigger and bigger. Little kids, they're afraid of monsters under the bed. Understandable, because somebody along the way told them there was a monster under the bed. I don't know who, why, or how, but it's now become a standard thing that some kids think there's monsters under the bed. And I just want to tell you now, not all children believe that. So there's something that said there's a monster under the bed. Um, but all of a sudden, that monster goes from being a little teeny tiny thing that's the size of an ant to becoming the size of a mouse or a rat or a cat or a dog, or to a lion, to this big old creature that hovers over the whole room. In reality, there's nothing under the bed. Okay. So, you got to watch that. This also is one of those things where we socially isolate ourselves. We will withdraw from a situation rather than put ourselves subject to criticism or something that might be fearful, be it rejection, be it failure. I mean, there's a variety of those things. So that's a real big one. And you know what? It decreases our quality of life, it decreases it a lot. Excessive fear restricts individuals from engaging in activities and experiences that they might otherwise enjoy. And Jason and I talked about that earlier. We talked about, have you done change? And he's done some changes, and he changed a couple things, but he's finding that he's open to more experiences now. And by opening up to those experiences, he's getting a lot of good coming out of that, and a lot of peace of mind, and a lot of peace in the heart. Um, it does impact our productivity and our performance. When you are afraid you're going to be yelled at, when you are afraid you're going to cause a situation that's uncomfortable, when you are afraid that you're going to do it wrong, you tend to do it wrong. You tend to make a problem out of it. It's when you're trying to walk on eggshells that you break the most eggs. And, you know, you got to walk around the eggs, let's be honest. But when you're tippy toeing, you stumble, you fall, you trip. It's uncomfortable, and it causes more problems. And so, that impacts our performance, and our productivity, because we are focused on it. And when you what that which you focus on expands. Yeah, write that one down. That which you focus on expands. I want you to really think about that for a minute. If you focus on the fear of failure, it will expand, and you will find that you fail in other things more often. So that which we focus on expands. I want you to keep that in mind as we go forward. Um, Emotional distress. You know, when you allow fear, you have all kinds of emotional. Yeah, I love that. Jace, thank you for putting that up. That which we focus on expands. You know what? And that includes the positive. Have you ever noticed people that are in love, everything comes up roses and chocolate and, is perfect? Well, it's not because the world has changed, just because their attitude has changed, and because they're focusing on the good. They're in love. They're focusing on the love and the beauty and the new experience and whatever else they're focusing on. And because that's what they're focusing on, that's what they're noticing. Everything is exactly the same around them, except for them and their attitude and the way that they look at it. So remember that. It gives us barriers to personal growth. That's a big one. It puts up blocks and barriers to personal growth, because again, we're not growing, we're not trying. We've allowed ourselves to become paralyzed. And there are ways though that we can use fear as a tool. We can use fear as a tool. Um, Again, it helps protect us. Now, I have I've had the opportunity to move in with my mom to help take care of her, and there are some social fears evolving around my family. Well, that fear does put me on alert, but I don't focus on that. But I am alert and aware of what might go on around me, and I have mentally prepared for it. So, fear allows you to mentally prepare. And when you mentally prepare for these things, then if the situation occurs, and some of you say when it occurs, again, it's your situation. But if or when it occurs, you are mentally prepared for it, and you're mentally prepared to stand up for yourself or to remove yourself from the situation or to communicate better, because you've allowed fear to help build up that, well, that expectation that you can succeed regardless of what others' behaviors are. And I love the saying. One of my sisters used to say, your behavior does not impact my eternal salvation. My reaction to it, however, does. So if people do things that create fear in you or make you feel like a failure or make you feel like you're less than, their behavior is bad. And you can't let their behavior impact the way you do things. It is your reaction to their behavior that's going to have the big difference in the impact on you in your life. So, what are some of the biggest fears that we have? We already talked about the fear of failure. You know, the fear of failure, this comes in the form of perfectionism. I'm not perfect enough. Okay, let perfectionism go. Good enough is great. Uh, Perfection is wonderful for those of you who achieve it once in a while, but perfectionism is a myth, because what's perfect to me may not be perfect to you, and what's perfect to you definitely may not be perfect to me. So perfectionism is, well, I like to say it's a myth. It's a perception for each person. So it's your own perfectionism that's getting in the way. And if it's your own, change your thoughts and the way you look toward it, and that will change the amygdala and how it reacts and responds. Fear of rejection. Well, what if they don't love me? What if they don't think I'm good enough? What if they don't, you know, want me around? What if I lose my friends? What if they don't want to be my new friend? The fear of rejection. What if I get fired? I've been rejected if I get fired. Well, if I get fired, well, my family will reject me. Okay. No, actually, you think about it, when people get fired, and I'm not saying go out and get fired on purpose, but when people get fired, typically your family comes around you and supports you. Your loved ones come around and say, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. And then they do, often say, oh, that boss is so evil and wrong. But yeah, that's a leadership course I teach another time. But, this fear of rejection, fear of failure, these are all things I cover in my coaching and the things that you can do with them. There's the fear of judgment. And funny to me, fear of judgment comes into rejection and into failure. You're going to judge me. You're judging, do I look good enough? Do I sound good enough? Am I doing a good enough job? Am I presenting the good enough information? So that's another big one. The fear of uncertainty, and that's all about change, and that's the fear of change. Those two go in hand in hand. They go in hand in hand, the fear of change. And we talked about that in greater depth last week. Some of the things that we can do to manage fear. Managing fear, it comes with deep breathing. Okay, you breathe in, breathe out. And last week, I showed, I think it was last week, a couple weeks ago, sometime in the last month, I showed you how to breathe, and I'll do it again. You just bear with me. I have to stand back here, get my chair out of the way. but you put a hand on your abdomen and one on your chest, and as you breathe in, let the hand on your abdomen be the one to go out. And as you breathe out, let it come in. Many of us shallow breathe. So we breathe in our chest. And when we breathe in our chest, our brain is not getting enough oxygen to properly function. Breathing helps you because it calms you down. It gives you something to focus on outside of the other stresses that are going on around you. Um, yeah, there's a whole rhyme and reason scientifically behind that, but we're not going to go over it. Grounding techniques. This is where you ground yourself. It might be that you flip, something on your wrist. It might be that you count from 5 to 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It can be, you pinch your fingers together. That's what I do. If I'm finding I'm under stress and I'm starting to have some fear come up, I pinch my fingers together because I can do that. If I do that like this, you're not going to notice. If I'm standing and my hands are to my side, you're not going to notice. But that's something for me that grounds me, reminds me, I'm in control always. I'm in control of my thoughts. Nobody else can control those. Only I can. Positive self talk. Okay, I've got a whole CD on daily affirmations. I've got all kinds of um, visualization, self hypnosis things, but they all come down to positive self talk. Big things behind fear is that we don't feel good about ourselves. We have low self esteem, and we got to do the positive self talk. I can do this. I can fill this report out and do a good job. I can type out something and do a good job. I can create a spreadsheet. And what I don't know how to do, I am smart enough to know how to get help from somebody else. Okay, that's good talk. I am smart enough to know to get help from somebody else. Henry Ford, he, paraphrasing the story real short, Henry Ford was taken to court and by somebody. We won't talk about family members. He was taken to court saying that he was not fit to run the business. And he got up on the stand, and the attorney was like, well, do you know how to do this engineering thing? And he said, no, but I know the best engineer that can do it. Well, do you know how to do this whatever thing? Well, no, but I know the best person to do it. Can you do accounting? No, but I know the best person can do it. You don't have to know how to do everything. You have to know where to turn for help. And there are some things that you're just not that great at. It's okay to have a non talent. I have many non talents, but I have many talents. If it's a non talent, I will say that is not my area of talent. This is, can I focus on this instead? So it's okay. You can do that. So the positive self talk. From the positive self talk, we're going to go to exposure. Gradually expose yourself, gradually expose yourself to these types of situations. That goes back to like change that we talked about. Jace gradually exposed himself to small changes so bigger changes weren't so hard. Instead of, trying to do the great big report, why don't you try writing a paragraph of that report and expose yourself to, oh, this looks really good. And again, go back to that social help where people will tell you, yeah, that looks good, or hey, you might want to tweak this a little bit. But gradually expose yourself to the things that you feel are not your, you have a fear over. Physical activity. Man, this is a big one. Physical activity, exercise, exercise, exercise. I know when I'm doing my exercises, I am sharper in mind. My fears and anxieties and stress and panic, all of those things basically go away. And a lot of it's because I'm getting in the oxygen. My body is functioning. Things are moving. The organs are pumping. And that's going to my brain, and my brain is saying, hey, I'm okay. And it's helping with the cortisol, it's helping with the, well, with everything. And the amygdala definitely helps with the amygdala and having it not be overly sensitive. Okay, so after physical activity, seek social support. Seek social support. Social support is, again, we talked about that a little bit, but social support is where you go in and find somebody who will support you. It could be a best friend, it could be a cousin, it could be a sibling, it could be a mentor. Now, social support, my people that I coach, I am a social support for them. I am completely honest, but I'm also objective and will tell them this is good when it's good. And you could do this a little bit differently when they could do something a little bit differently. So, social support, that's the next one on the next line of context. So, seek social support, challenging beliefs. Challenge your beliefs. We have negative beliefs, and a negative belief may come from something somebody said to us as a small child. And you know what? A lot of our fears come from things that happened when we were a small child. Somebody yelled at us, and it wasn't us, it was they were having a bad day, but we were too young to understand that. And so we just thought it was us. Your negative beliefs, you've got to look at them, identify them, and again, get a coach, get a mentor. That's one of the biggest things in everything that I coach on, is that we have to challenge those negative beliefs. And we're going through and doing that on a regular basis. And that goes back to also this positive self talk. You know, challenge the negative beliefs with positive self talk. The next things that come in from that is, I love these ones. The mindfulness and meditation, visualization, relaxation, they all go together. But, you know, mindfulness, engage in meditation practices, in mindfulness, in seeing the positive happen, the visualizations. Um, Again, all successful athletes visualize the program before they go out and do it. They visualize the run, they visualize the gymnastics routine, they visualize the ice skating routine, they visualize making that dunk and that getting that bucket in. They visualize that, and because they do that, that visualization comes true. And that is part of mindfulness and meditation. And of course, you relax when you're doing that. Now, today, I want to take some time and do a visualization to wrap up this session and this show. And the visualization, if you're walking or driving, riding a bike, something like that, play this when you're at a place where you can sit down or lay down and relax. Those of you who can sit down or lay down to relax, do so now, because we're going to go through a visualization together. And I'm going to have you close your eyes and relax as we do this. Okay. So I'll give you just a moment to get into a relaxing state. Now, normally I would have some music playing, but I just don't have that set up for this. So we're not going to do that. Okay. Everybody's relaxed, laying down. Today, we're stepping into a moment just for you, a moment to quiet your mind, dissolve your fears, and step into a deeper sense of calm, confidence, and control. A deeper sense of calm, confidence, and control. Allow yourself to get comfortable, close your eyes, and let my voice guide you through the peaceful journey. As we talk, your mind may wander, and that is perfectly normal, and it is all right. As it wanders, just grab the thoughts and bring them gently back to go along with this visualization. Imagine in your mind's eye yourself in a place that brings you peace, brings you joy, makes you feel safe. Imagine yourself in this place. Now, it might be a secluded beach where the waves are gently kissing the shore, or a peaceful forest where the sunlight filters softly through the trees. Or it may be a corner in a room that you love to visit, and that is where you relax and feel safe and calm. It can be a place you've been before, or it can be a new place altogether. Wherever this place is, know that it is your sanctuary, a place where nothing can harm you, where you are safe and you are at peace, where you are completely in control. Take in the details, the colors, the sounds, the feel of the ground beneath you. This is your space where you are completely safe, calm, and in control. You can revisit this place anytime you choose in your mind's eye. Anytime you choose, you can come back to this place and feel the complete safety, calmness, and know you are in control. Now take a deep breath in and exhale. Breathe in again. Exhale. Feel the weight of the world as it melts away. With every breath, let go of tension. With every breath, let stress and any lingering fear go. Breathe in calmness. Exhale anything that no longer serves you. Inhale deeply, filling your body with peace, and exhale, letting go of all worries. Feel yourself sinking deeper and deeper into relaxation, knowing that with every breath, you're becoming more and more calm, more confident, more in control. Now, I want you to think of something that has been causing you fear. There's no need to rush. Allow it to come to mind softly, like a distant memory. You're observing it from a place of strength and safety. See that fear as a small object, something you can easily manage. It's there, but it no longer controls you. You're the one in charge, and this fear is nothing more than a passing thought. Imagine now a warm glow beginning to grow within you. This light is your inner strength, your confidence, your unshakable power. Feel it spreading from your heart, flowing through your entire body, wrapping you in a protective glow. As this light grows, feel the warmth. Feel the warmth on your arms, in your hands, in your heart. And as this light grows, see it surround the fear, enveloping it completely. And watch the light gently transform the fear, shrinking it down until it is just a tiny, insignificant speck. And with a gentle breathe, with your breath, blow that speck and watch it fade away, leaving you feeling lighter and stronger and more at peace. Blow it away. Now turn your focus inward. Feel that calmness in your body. Feel the confidence in your mind, the control in your spirit. These qualities are a part of you, always accessible whenever you need them. Now let's solidify that now. Repeat after me, either silently or out loud. I am safe. I am calm. I am confident. I am in control. Let's do that once more. I am safe. I am calm. I am confident. I am in control. Feel these words resonate within you. Feel them as you know that they are the truth. Feel the truth behind these words. For you are safe, you are calm, and you are confident and in control. Feel these words resonate. Feel them become your truth. Now, in your mind's eye, picture yourself in a situation where you've previously felt fear. But this time, see yourself entering with calmness, confidence, and with complete control. See yourself approaching the situation with ease and grace. Notice how effortlessly you move through it, how calm and confident you feel, how at ease you are. See yourself smiling gently, smiling even bigger, knowing that you are in control of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. This is who you are. You are calm, you are confident, and you are in control. See yourself responding with grace, handling everything that comes your way with poise and assurance. You are in charge of your reality and you handle it beautifully. Now take in another deep breath. Exhale. Bring in more. Exhale. Slowly bring your awareness back to the present moment. Slowly and gently, keeping that feeling of calm, confidence, and control within you. Feel the ground beneath you. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and stretch if it feels right. Go ahead and stretch. When you're ready, open your eyes, bringing with you this newfound calm and confidence and control. You've done something powerful today. You've taken control of your thoughts, your emotions, your life. From this moment on, you carry with you the calmness, confidence, and control you've cultivated. Remember, you are the master of your mind, the creator of your reality. Walk forward now, knowing you are unstoppable. This is your life, my friend, and you've got everything it takes to live it to the fullest. Open your eyes, stretch, and know that you are whole. Okay, bring yourself back. Jace, come on in. Let's talk just a minute about, did you do the visualization with us?
I did, yeah. It was a good experience.
Good. And my friends, that's what I ask you. Leave comments. Let me know if you want to do more of these visualizations because there are several topics that we'll do that we can do these with. And they work. Yeah, I love that you're still breathing. I love that you're still breathing. But leave your comments. And, seriously, share this with other people. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers about these shows. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And of course, comments are very helpful. For this helps me and it helps the channel. So please do remember to subscribe and like and leave your comments. And remember to join us every Monday for KARENisms at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. And every Wednesday, we have Power Surge. And this is Empowering Journeys with Dr. K. And each week we have a special guest. And this is where we bring you inspiring stories of transformation and self discovery from people of all walks of life that have come through and are going to help us with the things that we want to maybe experience ourselves or to go forward. And again, I thank you so very much for tuning in. I'll see you soon. Ciao for now.